If you were a pirate and you had treasure, what would you do with it? You'd bury it. And then you'd want to remember where you put it. So you draw a map. And that's what we're going to do today. So in your learning kits, you have these two pieces of paper. A blue one, and I call this manila. I'm not sure why. So the blue one, I am setting it aside right now. But this one, we are going to make look like a real treasure map because we're not going to cut it. We're going to use tearing. And tearing is very good for your muscles. You need your muscles to grow, so we're going to strengthen them. Now, my advice is to do little tears. You don't want any straight edges on this when you're done. And it's okay, everyone's will be different. See how I'm ripping it a little tiny bit? Because if I rip a big bit, I won't have much of a map left. But see, I'm pinching. And if a piece comes off, that's great. Do I want to leave this? Nope, that's a straight edge. I want all my edges to look like this. Now, oh boy, I cut a lot. That's okay to rip a lot. And if you make a mistake, oh no, well just stop. Go back to where you liked it. And keep going. Don't worry about that. Don't tape it or anything. It won't matter. It might even make your map look more interesting. Oh, and I got that piece off. So is it done? Not yet. Now we go back to the straight edge. And it's okay to have a little piece that sticks up, but if you don't like that, you can rip that off too. I'm getting really thick here, so it's okay, but I don't want to get too thick. Ripping and ripping and ripping. Now, if you're ripping and you need to pause the video to catch up, do that, okay? Mine's all ripped. It's got an extra tear there, but that's not a problem. When you're ready, turn your camera back on and meet me over here. So I have my blue paper here, and I'm going to hold mine up with kind of a magnet. Now the other thing you're going to need is your brown crayon. Oh my goodness, and it has to be the brown one. So let me just, all right, I found my brown crayon, and my crayon's broke, but it really doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is, I want the edges to be brown. I'm coloring kind of with the side of my crayon really light, and see how I'm kind of going over the edge, and I'm getting that on the blue paper? That's because I don't want it to get on my table. I keep turning it. I'm coloring really light so that it looks like it's a dirty old pirate map. And you know what? Right up here where that long rip is, I think it'll be interesting if I color that like an edge too. Maybe I'll even rip a bit off. You can do it to make yours interesting the way you like. And I'm just going to go all around the edge. So tearing was step one. Coloring the edges so it looks like an old dirty map is step two. Now again, I'm going to go quick on mine, but you might have to turn off your video so that you can, catch up. So when you think your edges look kind of cool, and I think mine do, they're a little bit, this is what's next. I'm going to turn this over. See how I've got all those lines on it? I'm going to turn that over so it's on the back and you can't see it. And I gave you blue paper because I wanted it to look like the ocean. And this is going to look like the map, and it's our land. And I can decide how I want it to fit. I think I like it this way. So I'll put my glue. And if yours is too big, you can always rip some more off. If it's too little, though, you'll just have to work with it. And that's fine, too. Pirates are good at that. They work with what they've got. So I'm gluing the edges, and I'm going to stick it down so that all the edges fit on the map. You can put a little extra glue if you need to. Then I want you to stop. Put your map down and stop and watch me do mine. And when I'm done, you can turn off my video and do yours the way you want to. This is an idea. So turn your camera back on when it's all glued and it's stuck and you're ready to go. This is what I would do first. I would imagine where I was going to bury my treasure, but I want it to be kind of like it's out in the ocean on an island. So I'm going to draw, oh, maybe these palm trees. I'm going to do just the leaf parts and give them some coconuts. Because I think when I imagine pirates, I imagine them out in the Caribbean. That's something to do with Disney, isn't it? So there's the trees that I imagine are there. And of course it's important to color them, because if you just draw it and you don't color it, it's going to look like the leaves are brown. So while I'm thinking of the next thing I want on my map, now you notice I'm not doing X marks the spot. That's the last thing a pirate puts. So there's my trees, and I imagine over here there are some stones. I'm going to imagine that these stones pile up, and I'm going to make a little cave. That's what I imagine, that on this part of the island there's a cave. After I do that, it's easier to color those stones in. And I think the inside of the cave is really dark. There's my cave. And maybe in the front there's some green grass, so I'll add that. And then, oh, you know what's back here? Back here is one of these things. A big old brown mountain. It's got an opening at the top. Probably should have made it a little bigger. And look what's coming out. Ooh, I'm making mine be a volcano. Did you guess that? A little bit of volcano-y ash and lava all coming out of the top. There's my volcano. Wow. Maybe there's some flowers on my island. Maybe. Or maybe I'll give a couple of little flowers over here. So you can put the details you want. The thing I really do want, though, is I think my island would have a stream. So I'm going to imagine this is where the stream would be. It would start on one end of the ocean and go right through the island and then over to this part of the ocean. Now, I kind of like that. So now I'm going to decide where I'm going to bury my treasure if I were the pirate. Where would I bury my treasure? I'm going to bury my treasure right here next to my volcano. So, X, and I like to make a big old thick X, marks the spot. Now, I imagine that my ship, the pirate ship, would land here. That's what I imagine. And that the pirates would get off right here, and I'm going to make a path. They have to follow the map, don't they? I'm going to be tricky, though. I'm going to make them follow it behind the volcano. Oh, right past that X. I'm being tricky. And they're going to go behind the trees and across the water. Oh, my goodness. They're going to have to work for this. And then back to X marks the spot. There it is. Now, I want to make it an authentic map, so I'm going to write north and south, west and east. And then I'm going to put my arrows, and you know what this is? This is the compass. So that when the pirates are going and sailing, they're going to know how to get north, south, east, or west to find this island, and then to find the treasure. What do you think? So now that you've seen mine, and yours doesn't have to look like mine, it can be very different, I want you to think about that. First we tear, then we color the edges brown, then we glue, and then last, we imagine where the pirate would bury that treasure, right? Okay, and draw what the island would look like. Then put your X. Then put your path from the boat to the X. And if you want it to be really authentic, don't forget the compass. Can't wait to see them. Have fun, boys and girls.